Okay. So I am sharing my today's presentation slide. Just a minute. So in the last class, we already discussed the methods of demand forecasting, and basically we already studied the survey method in the last class. So we already discussed the consumer survey method and the opinion poll methods. And in today's class, we are going to study the statistical methods. So basically, the statistical methods are three are the more important is popular method. First is the trend projection method, then the barometric method, and then the econometric method. So let us discuss these methods one by one. So first we are going to study the trend projection method. So before discussing the trend projection method, first we will going to study what does statistical methods mean. So the statistical methods are often used when the forecasting of demand is to be done for a longer period. So the statistical methods are used more often and are considered superior. So these methods are considered superior than the other techniques of demand forecasting due to the following reasons. So these are the four important reasons why we consider the statistical method are superior than the other methods. So the first is there is a minimum element of subjectivity in the statistical methods. The second point is the estimation method is scientific and depends on the relationship between dependent and independent variable. So here we are basically the result found here are basically the scientific result, and it is based on some formula. So that's why the result are much more accurate. The third point is the estimates are more reliable than the other methods. The fourth point is the cost involved in the estimation of demand is the minimum. And also the cost involved in these methods are also minimum. That's why these methods are much more superior than the other methods. So moving to the next slide. Now these are the important categories of statistical method. First is trend projection method, then the barometric method, and the econometric method. So these are further divided into uh, other important methods. So trend projection method are further divided into graphical method, then least square method, then Bot's Jenkins method, and the barometric method are further divided into three methods, which is lead-in series, coincidental series, lag-in series, and the econometric method are further divided into, or these are the various methods which comes under the econometric method. So first is the regression method, and the second is the simultaneous equation model. So let us first discuss the trend projection method and the methods which comes under the trend projection method. So it is the most classical method of business forecasting, which is concerned with the movement of variables through time. So just remember this line, it is concerned with the movement of variable through time. So here time is an important constraint, or time is an important variable in this method. So this method requires a long time series data. So it is based on the assumption that the factors liable for the past trend. So just remember it, that the factors liable for the past trend in the variables to be projected shall continue to play their role in the future. So whatever the factors that are that comes into play in the past trend are also going to contribute in the future. So this method uh, deals with it. So in the same manner and to the same extent, so as they did in the past, while determining the variables magnitude and direction. So in this method, a trend has been set. So whatever the trend has been set in the past, that trend has been going to be in the future as well. So that's why his name is trend projection method. So the trend projection method includes three techniques based on the time series data. So let us discuss the its three techniques. So moving to the next slide. So the first technique is graphical method. So it is the simplest statistical method in which the annual sales data are plotted on a graph, and the line is drawn through these plotted points. So that's why its name is graphical method. We need to plot a graph, and that graph, a line is drawn through the points of the graph. So that's why its name is graphical method. A freehand line is drawn in such a way that the distance between the points and the line is minimum. So under this method, it is assumed that future sales will assume the same trend as followed by the past sales record. So here, a future sales has been expected with the past sales record. So that's why it's named. It is this method comes under the trend projection method. So although the graphical method is simple and inexpensive, it is not considered to be reliable, because here we are drawing a freehand drawing uh, by connecting the points and then plotting the graph. So that's why it is not considered to be a reliable method. So this is because the extension of this trend line may involve subjectivity and personal bias of the researcher. So maybe the researcher is biased on certain trends, so this method is not reliable. So moving to the next slide. Just a minute, some other students are waiting in the lobby. Okay. So moving to the next slide. Now the next method which comes under the trend prediction method is least square method. So this method is a formal technique in which the trend line is fitted in the time series using the statistical data to determine the trend of demand. So the form of trend equation that can be fitted to the time series data can be determined either by plotting the sales data or trying different forms of the equations that best fits the data. So as you already studied this least square method in statistics or in your mathematics, so it is based on some formula. So once the data is plotted, it shows several trends. So that the most common types of trend equations are, the first is the linear trend equation and the next is the exponential trend method, which comes under the least square method. So in the linear trend method, when the time series data reveals a rising or a linear trend in sales, the following straight line is fitted. So this is the straight line equation which deals with the linear trend method. So S equal to A plus BT. So here S denotes the annual sales and capital T denotes the time in years, whereas small a and small b are constants here. So as this equation is linear equation, so this equation has been used in linear trend method. So next comes the exponential trend method. So the exponential trend is used when the data reveals that the total sales have increased over the past years, either by increasing the rate or at a constant rate per unit time. So an equation which satisfies this is considered to be the exponential trend method. So these are the two methods which comes under the linear square method. So moving to the third method. So the third method which comes under the trend projection method is Botz-Jenkins method. So this method is often used with stationary time series sales data. So here stationary time series we are taking. So a stationary time series data is one which does not reveal a long-term trend. So in other words, Botz-Jenkins method is used when the time series data reveals monthly or seasonal variations that reappear with some degree of regularity. So as you know that in rainy seasons the sale of raincoat and umbrellas are more. So so it means the sale of umbrellas and raincoat are basically depend on the rainy season. It means their sale depend on a particular season. So in that type of seasonal trend or in a monthly trend, this Botz-Jenkins method is used. So all of you understand it, the trend projection method. Just write in the chat box so that we can move further to the next methods. Now the next method is barometric methods. So it was developed to forecast the trend in the overall economic activities. So as you know that the barometer deals with the mercury. So here also we calculate the barometric method with the use of mercury. So this method can nevertheless be used in forecasting the demand prospects, not necessarily the actual quantity expected to be demanded. So often the barometric method of forecasting is used by the meteorologist in weather forecasting, The weather conditions are forecasted on the basis of movement of mercury in a barometer. As you already know that this is the method to measure the temperature. So based on this logic, economists use economic indicators as a barometer to forecast the overall trend is in the business activities. So the barometric method is based on the approach of developing an index of relevant economic indicators and forecasting the future trends by analyzing the movements in these indicators. So, a time series of several indicators is developed to study the future trends. So, these can be classified in in three ways. So, first is the leading series, second is the coincidental series, and the third is the lagging series. So, these are the three ways by which we can calculate the demand forecasting with the use of barometric methods. So let us discuss these three ways one by one. So first we are taking the leading series. So the leading series is comprised of indicators which move up or down ahead of some other series. So as its name suggests, it is a leading series. So it moves up or down ahead of some other series. So the most common examples of leading indicators are, so first is net business investment index, a new order of for durable goods, change in value of inventories, corporate profits after tax, etc. So these are some of the most common examples of leading indicators. Now moving to the next slide. The second way of barometric method is coincidental series. So the coincidental series include indicators which move up and down simultaneously. So here simultaneous word is important with the general level of economic activities. So the example of coincidental series are the rate of unemployment, the number of employees in non-agricultural sector, sales recorded by manufacturing, retail, and trading sectors, gross national product at constant prices. So these are some of the examples of coincidental series. So now moving to the next slide. So the third way of barometric method is lagging series, a series consisting of those indicators which after some time lag follow the change. So as its name suggests, this series is lagging series. So after some time lag, it follows the change. So some of the lagging series are outstanding loan, labor cost per unit production, lending rate for short-term loans, etc. So these are some of the lagging series example. So this concludes our barometric method for demand forecasting. So all of you understand it? Just write in the chat box so that we can move to the next method, which it is econometric method. Okay. So moving to the next slide. There are some advantage and limitations of barometric method as well. So the barometric method of forecasting helps to overcome the problems of finding the values of independent variables under regression analysis. So basically, the problems of trend projection method are removed or overcome in the barometric method by finding the value of independent variable under regression analysis in the case of barometric method. But there are some limitations of this method. So the first limitation is often the leading indicator of the variable to be forecasted is difficult to find out or is not easily available. So this is the first limitation of barometric method. And the second limitation is the barometric technique can be used only for a short term forecasting and not for the long term forecasting. So this is an important limitation of barometric method. Now moving to the next slide. Now the next category of methods are econometric method. So these methods use statistical tools and economic theories in combination to estimate the economic variable and to forecast the intended variables. So here we are using the the economic theories and also the statistical tools in combination. So that's why its name is econometric method. So the econometric model can be either be a single equation regression model or may consist of a system of simultaneous equations. So these are the two popular models of econometric models. So in most commodities, the single equation regression model serves the purpose. In the case where the explanatory economic variables are so interdependent or interrelated to each other that unless one is defined, the other variable cannot be determined. So a single equation regression model does not serve the purpose. So in such situation, the system of simultaneous equation is used to forecast the variable. So in econometric model, there are two basic models. So one is the single equation regression model and the second is system of simultaneous equation. So in the conditions where uh, the two variables are dependent on each other, in those situations simultaneous equation model is preferred in comparison to the single equation regression model. So let us discuss these models one by one in detail in the next slides. So moving to the next slide. The regression analysis is the most common method used to forecast the demand for a product. So this method combines the economic theory with statistical tools of estimation. The economic theory is applied to specify the demand determinants and the nature of relationship between products demands and its determinants. Thus, through an economic theory, a general form of a demand function is determined. So, while the statistical techniques are applied to estimate the values of parameters in the projected equation, so under the regression method, the first and the foremost thing is to determine the demand function. So first thing we need to determine the demand function in the case of regression method. So while specifying the demand functions for several commodities, one may come across many commodities whose demand depend by or large on a single independent variable. So in a single independent variable, we are using the single regression method. So moving to the next slide. So for example, suppose in a city, the demand for items like tea and coffee is found to be dependent largely on the population of the city. So then the demand function of these items are said to be single variable demand function, because the demand of these items are basically dependent on one factor, which is the population of the city. So that's why its name is single variable demand function. On the other hand, if it is found out that the demand for commodities like sweets, ice creams, fruits, vegetables, etc., depend on a number of variables like commodities' own price, the price of substitute goods, household income, population, etc. So here you can see there are many variables which decide the demand of the product. So then such demand functions are called as the multivariable demand function, because the price of the commodity is dependent on many variables. So that's why its name is multivariable demand function. Thus, for a single variable demand function, the simple regression equation is used, while for multiple variable function, a multivariable equation is used for estimating the demand for a product. So this is we can use the regression method by considering this the single variable demand function or the multivariable demand function. So we are using the different types of regression methods in order to calculate the single and the multivariable demand functions. So moving to the next slide. Now the next method is simultaneous equation model. So under simultaneous equation model, so the demand forecasting involves the estimation of several simultaneous equations. So these equations are often the behavioral equations, market clearing equations, and mathematical identities. So the regression technique is based on the assumption of one-way occasion, which means independent variables cause variations in the dependent variables and not vice versa. So here an important line is there. It means independent variables cause variation in the dependent variable, but vice versa is not possible. It means the dependent variable cannot cause variation in the independent variable. So in simple terms, the independent variable is in no way affected by the dependent variable. So for example, you can see in the equation D is equal to A minus VP. So here you can see that D denotes the demand, capital D denotes the demand, capital P denotes the price, and small a and b are the constant. So here you can see that capital P is an independent variable. So variation in this is capital P can can change the value of this D, as capital D is basically dependent variable, because its value is dependent on the independent variable capital P, but vice versa is not possible. So this equation shows that the price affects the demand, but demand does not affect the price, so which is an unrealistic assumption. So by this equation, this concept is clear that the independent variable uh, can affect the price of the dependent variable, but vice versa is not possible. So moving to the next slide. So, on the contrary, the simultaneous equation model enables a forecaster to study the simultaneous interaction between the dependent and independent variables. So, the forecaster can study simultaneously the relationship between the dependent and the independent variable. Thus, the simultaneous equation model is a systematic and complete approach to forecasting. So, this method employs several mathematical and statistical tools of estimation. That's why the result comes from this method are very clear and accurate. The econometric method are most widely used in forecasting the demand for a product, for a group of products, and economy as a whole. The forecast made through these methods is more reliable than other forecasting methods. So these methods are more reliable as the results of these methods are much more accurate than the other methods. So thank you very much. So this concludes our demand analysis. So all of you understand it? Just write in the chat box. And in the next class, we are going to study the supply analysis. As this unit is divided into two parts, demand analysis and supply analysis. So today we conclude the demand analysis, and in the next class we are going to study the supply analysis. So thank you very much. Now you can leave this meeting. And all the video lectures are available on the college YouTube channel.